Hey everybody, it's Neil Armstrong here, your fitness coordinator at the Covington. And for our next video, we are going to practice some yoga. In our chair, we'll do toward the end a little bit on the feet. If you are chair bound, obviously just skip that part. But without further ado, we can take it away. So get nice and comfortable in your chair, whether that means sitting right up against the back of the chair or sitting a little bit forward so that you can engage some of the core and the back muscles to help you sit up nice and tall. And as you allow yourself to settle, when it's right, you could close the eyes. And as you close the eyes, just give yourself a couple moments to observe and to notice what is taking place within your thoughts, within the body. Maybe there's some emotional thing that might be floating around. And we want to just notice kind of our internal state of affairs so that, especially as we go through this opening meditation, we are able to separate that kind of internal experience and allow ourselves to focus more deeply just on the moment that we're in. So I'd like you to gradually give a little bit more attention to your body sitting in the chair. And just notice the feet resting on the floor, the sitting bones on the chair, and anywhere else that might be in contact with something. Additionally, noticing the things that aren't in contact with the chair, noticing the head as it floats in space, and trying to imagine a little string extending out from the crown of your head, and it's helping you create a little bit of length through the spine, giving you a little gentle reminder to use your core to help you sit comfortably. Notice if there's anywhere in the body that feels a little sticky or stiff or sore. And just be mindful of those areas as you practice so that you don't upset anything. Notice your breathing here, starting by the sound. Does your breath have a sound? Are you able to hear it? Or are you breathing in a kind of shallow, quiet way? And if that's you, I'd like you to breathe a little bit deeper so that you can actually hear your inhales and you can hear your exhales. You can notice the contraction and restriction, I don't like that word, but whatever, of your stomach, your diaphragm, your lungs, your belly, the shoulders and the upper back. Just allowing yourself to feel those parts of the body moving with your breath and looking to bring a little bit more movement in those areas. So that point coinciding with you taking a little bit deeper breath in and out. And if you find your mind wanders away from you, or maybe you start to fidget or get a little frustrated, that is just a sign that you need to stay here and break away from that impulse. Take a deep breath. Allowing your attention to wrap itself around the process of breathing. So in this moment, we're allowing our breath to be the most interesting thing of your day right now. Really letting yourself become curious about the process of breath. Allowing your awareness to situate itself in the middle of the body, around the heart, the lungs. You might even notice the beating of your heart right now. You may find that if you're new to mindfulness or meditation, this process is very frustrating. And we want to make sure that we're not hard on ourselves, or we're not pulling ourselves down if it's difficult to focus. And you can think of it like a little toddler or something, and they want to touch a stove. And, because they're curious of the heat or whatever it may be. And we have to constantly be pulling them away from that focal point. So, pulling ourselves away from distraction in the mind and coming back to the breath. We'll take another couple breaths here. Starting to become aware of the room that you are sitting in, any sounds you may hear, any other sensory data, and just noticing that stuff as we become a little more present. We can invite a little more movement here. We can start with the fingers, opening and closing the hands, moving each individual finger. Maybe wiggle the toes a little bit. We'll take one more inhale. And after you exhale, you can go ahead and open the eyes. And adjust yourself in the chair if you need to. And we can start with a little bit of movement for our neck, our shoulders. So we can begin by just sitting up nice and tall and turning the head to the left and right. Still trying to imagine that sense of string helping to lift you upward. Let's take one more each way. You'll meet in the middle. And from here, you can take your hands to your hairline, edges of the spine. Relax the arms and go ahead and look up. Nice and gentle. You're not trying to strain your neck. You then look down. Head comes through neutral. Your fingers go down an inch or so. And you look up one more time. And look down. Coming through center, walking the fingers down a hair. And do it again. Let's take one more walk down and repeat. And let go of the hands. You can imagine a little paintbrush on your nose, and you're just going to draw a circle in front of your face. Looking for nice, soft movement. Don't have to move in a way that's like max mobility range for you. You can make this very gentle, very soft. Finish this one. And take it other way. Let's take one more. And head comes to center. Alrighty, hands can hang out by the sides. Let's take a couple rolls of the shoulders. Can roll them backward. And again, nice light movement. You're not trying to yank the shoulder or cause any sort of stress in the muscles of your shoulders, your neck. Let's take one more. And the other way, back to front. And you might be accompanied by sounds here. And just notice that stuff. One more. Relax. All right, separate your feet a little bit here. We're going to take a torso circle. So you can rotate around and back. Nice easy movement through your sitting bones, your hips, the torso. We'll take one more. And go the other way. Don't forget to breathe through your movement. We'll take two more. And you can relax to center. All right, adjust yourself in the chair so that you're kind of toward the front of it. Hands down by your sides. We will start with Tadasana. So, this is quite a simple but subtle posture. So what we're looking for here is to just let the arms be hanging down by the sides. I am applying a little bit of pressure in my feet and my sitting bones to help give my core extra help in activating. And I'm trying to imagine that string at the top of my head, letting the shoulders be nice and soft, trying to sense a certain kind of wideness in the collarbones. And from here, we'll go ahead and inhale the arms up. Any height works here. And exhale, follow the fingertips with the eyes. Coming again, inhale, lift. And exhale, follow your fingertips on the other side. We'll take another round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, follow your fingers. One hand at a time. Coming up, inhale. And other fingers, exhale. Good. From here, we'll take one more, coming up on the inhale. And we'll take a little forward bend this time. Exhale, letting the torso lean forward. Whatever distance you go is totally fine. And again, always keep in mind, you don't have to look like me. You want to make it work for your body. Take about 2 or 3 more breaths here. Letting the shoulders relax, the neck. And on an inhale, engage the core. Bring those arms up with you. And let's exhale into a small twist. Just let the hands drape down to the side. We'll inhale, lift. And exhale, draping down to the other side. One more round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rotate. Let the arms fall. We repeat. Inhale. And exhale. Bringing the arms up with an inhale. And exhale. Hands come down. All right, let's move into a little bit of cat-cow. So you're welcome to hold the hip bones if you don't quite feel the movement, because the feeling should take place in the hips, in the sitting bones, a little bit of the core, and then obviously the spine. But it originates for us in this example from the hips. So come a little forward if you weren't. Imagine you've got a bucket of water at your waist. It's very heavy, so that water will spill, but that's okay. It's what you want. So we'll start with cat. So that pelvic bowl of water, let it spill backward, round the spine. You can exhale here. And then inhale. That bowl of water spills forward. You lift the spine, you lift the collarbone, the chin. You inhale here. And you exhale into cat. You inhale into your cow, lengthening the spine, and exhale, cat. And so just keep going through your movement here. Pick a comfortable rhythm of your breath. And so it could be slower than me, could be quicker than me. But give yourself the time to really let your mind get down into your hips, your spine, so that you can try and feel what happens after you move the pelvis, that sort of chain reaction in the spine. And you can make it happen kind of one vertebra at a time, assuming, of course, that it's comfortable for your body. Let's take one more. Coming through cat. And coming through cow. Relax. Center. All right. Next one, we can go through a little bit more twisting. So what we can do here is actually apply a little bit of hip work. So I want you to take your leg, move it out to the side. It doesn't have to go too far or anything, but you're going to take the same arm and place it on the thigh. And then hand that's on the opposite leg, you can just slide the hand back. And you should feel a little bit of an opening in that opposite shoulder. And of course, take a couple deep breaths here. You may notice a little bit of stretching happening around the waist, the lower back. That is more than good. If it's pain, make some adjustments. And you can unwind. Leg comes in, opposite leg goes out, arm onto your thigh. Slide the hand back, open the shoulder. Maybe even looking over the shoulder if it's okay for your neck. Either way, breathe. And we will release. Leg can come in. Take your hands through prayer. And you're going to just press into the hands a little bit. Press into the feet. So you should feel a little bit of tightness in the core. If not, go ahead and pull the belly in toward the spine. And then from basically the belly button up, we're going to twist. But I want you to activate your core the whole time. So we're really using our core to stabilize ourselves as we rotate. And we're going to come slowly to center and rotate other way. Again, remember to activate your core. And we'll return to center. And just inhale, open your arms. You can press them back. And we're going to exhale, cross. Relax the head. We'll go through that motion one more time. Inhale, open, lift the chest. Exhale, round, cross the arms. And we'll inhale, open. And we'll move the arms into eagle next. So cross one elbow over the other. This is option 1, hang out if it's a good stretch. Option 2, holding your shoulder blades. Option 3, which is more advanced, bottom arm lifts toward the face, top arm lifts knuckle to knuckle, or palm to palm. Either way, let yourself settle in the version that you picked. Breathe. And if you want a little extra here, first take note of which arm is crossed over which. So if you have your right over left, you could take your right leg, cross it over, vice versa. And this could be option 1. Well, actually, let's regress that. Crossing the ankle would be option 1. Crossing the knees, option 2. And then you can bind the legs as a third, harder option. And if you're in that bound pretzel thing, make sure that you're not cramping or anything. You should still feel relatively comfortable, even though this doesn't look that comfortable. For me, it is. So, comfort is the key. Go ahead and unwind. Release those legs. Inhale, open. Exhale, cross. Other arm goes on top. And go into the same variation that you had. You may find, especially with the shoulders, One side is different, and it could be quite different. So don't try and force yourself. Say if you can do the bind, and the other side doesn't quite work so hot, don't try and force that. So optional ankle cross, knee, or full wrap of the legs. Settling into your posture, breathing. And if you're wondering why this is called eagle, Google. It certainly doesn't look like one. Let's go ahead and unwind the arms, unwind the legs. Excellent. And from here, let's go ahead and stretch a little bit of the lower body. So scooch slightly forward, take your leg forward, knee could be softly bent, leg could be straight. Both are okay. Sit up nice and tall, engage your core, and start to hinge forward. What can be helpful here is to think of this almost like cow when we were doing cat-cow. So the pelvic bowl should be rolling forward. Either way, don't forget to breathe. Let's take one more breath. And lift on up. Very nice. We'll go right into the other side, extending the leg, sitting up as tall as we can manage, engaging the core, hinging forward. Spill your bucket of water right in front of the feet. And on your inhales, you can use that as a chance to try and create a little bit of length in your spine. We'll take 2 breaths more. Noticing if you got a tighter side, a looser side, or maybe they're more even. And bringing yourself upright. Very nice. Let's go ahead and lean back into the chair. We're going to bring one of the knees toward the chest. And I like to hold behind the knee. Other people may like to hold above the shin, wherever is comfortable. So as you're here, you can move your ankle around a little bit, a couple rotations, clockwise, counterclockwise. And from here, maybe you move the knee in kind of a little circle. And if you're going through that, use the arms to do it, your biceps. And then you can let the hip joint muscles down in there relax a little bit more. And again, clockwise, counterclockwise. Maybe reaching toward the shoulder, outside of the rib. Kind of pumping the leg. And we'll go for one more option here. If you want to extend the leg, go ahead and add that. Maybe moving the foot around. And you could take, I'll do 4 of them. You don't have to do 4 though. I mean, hey, you don't even have to do this. You might be looking at this and say, haha, no way. Maybe someday, but not this day. All right, we'll switch. Bringing that knee towards you. You can start with a little bit of rotation for your ankle. Getting both angles there. And if you did that hip circle, you can add that in. And you don't have to try and, go maximum range here. There's some value in keeping it nice and light. And if you didn't switch, you could have that. Maybe reaching the knee outside toward the shoulder, outer rib cage. You can coordinate your exhale with this. And then maybe you want to extend the leg up, maybe moving the foot around. I'll take 4 on this side as well. Take however many you want, or none at all. Getting my last one. And leg comes down, and I come on up. All right, pants are adjusted. We can continue. So from here, we are going to take some stretch for the quads, hip flexors. So a couple ways to do this. The first way, well, I guess we should have never come up, but hey, you can lean back and kind of wiggle your foot a little behind, and you should feel some pull in the quad. If that's good enough for you, you're welcome to just hang out here. If you would like a little more depth, just bring yourself off to the side of the chair. One leg's in the air. That leg will wiggle back much in the same way as the first version. So take a couple moments here. If you're in this version with me, see if you can squeeze the muscles of your butt, and you should feel a little bit more intensity creep into the quad, the hip flexor. But if that is causing you some issues, don't worry about it. Take one more breath. And release yourself from your variant. And I'm going to go right into the other side. So if you were doing the lean back version, you're letting that opposite foot just wiggle backward, letting yourself settle into the pose. Those of you in this more lunge variation, activate those glutes. Squeeze. Make sure you're breathing, especially if you're feeling a lot of stretch sensation. Probably you're going to want to hold the breath. So breathe, nice big inhale, big exhale. And take one more breath. And start to make your way out. Coming toward the center of the chair and forward. I promise this time we won't lean back again. So from here, you can open the knees a little bit, and I'm going to have you bring your arms by the sides. Inhale them up, and we're going to fold forward on the exhale. Start by letting the arms rest on the thighs. If you feel like there's room for more folding, you can maybe go for your ankles, feet, or floor. Breathing here. We'll take 3 breaths here. Finishing your last breath, On the exhale, you can rise on up, bring the knees in, inhale your arms up, and exhale down by the sides. So let's go ahead and take the feet just about hip width, not as wide as before. And from here, I'm going to let the knees knock in. I'm going to go a little wider. This shouldn't cause you to cramp, so just be mindful. And then from here, you can place your hands on the thighs and try and create a little bit of a cow tilt, getting the pelvis to roll forward, maybe lifting the collarbone, the chin, taking a big inhale. Hold it, one more breath. And release. Give the knees a little wiggle. It's like that dance move. Hey! All right. Next one we will go through, we'll start getting into our seated versions of extended side angle, Warrior Two, and then we can do a little bit of work on the feet. So when you are ready, let's get into it. We'll take one of our legs out to the side, and if you can't go, let's say, full east or west, doesn't matter, you can turn yourself so that your pelvis is more in line with the leg that moved out to the side. Either way, let's start by just bringing that leg, the knee, inward. So letting that thigh rotate internally. And if it's comfortable and you want a little more, I want you to start energizing that back leg, the glute, quad, hamstring, and just look over. Let's rephrase that. Just look east or west, depending on the way you're facing. So from here, let's start with Warrior Two. So we're just going to reach the arms out. And make sure that when you reach them out, you don't turtleneck, but you can keep them nice and soft. And then you can look out over the front fingertips. And just so that you can see another variation of this, I have released that back leg and much softer, less active this way. So regardless of the version you've picked, hand comes to your hip, that front hand will flip, we can reverse, lift the palm, nice stretch through the side, the waist. And you can release. All right, let's do the other side. Leg opens, adjust your pelvis if you need to. You can go for our less active version with the bent knee, internally rotated hip, or if you want a little more muscle activity, push through the outer edge of the foot. So that means the pinky side of the foot. And then we lift the arms, Warrior Two. You can look out over those front fingertips, engaging that core, relax your shoulders, breathe, don't forget that. So from here, we can go ahead and flip that front palm, take your hand to your hip, reverse it, lift the hand. And go ahead and come on out. All right. So we will go through, I said we were going to go through extended side angle. I have changed my mind. We will do a little bit of work on the feet, some light balancing. So you can make the standing stuff work from a chair. It'll look very different. I haven't decided if I'll demo it or not, but either way, let's have you come behind your chair or to the side of it. Both are fine. And we can take a tree pose here. So the simplest version of this is to just take one of the knees and let it swing out to the side. You can keep both feet on the floor. Some of you, this is already a challenge for balance. If you are feeling more secure here, you could take the foot to your ankle. If you felt secure there, maybe the calf. If you felt secure there, granted I have to use my hand, and now I'm dirtying my pants, but I'll survive. You can come toward the inner thigh, the groin. Keep in mind that the higher you bring that leg, you're going to want to kind of let the hip creep up with you. Don't let that happen. So from here, maybe you bring your hands through prayer. Maybe one hand stays on the chair. You could go for additional challenge here and take the arms upward. Either way, we got just a little bit more time here. And you can release. Ah, not that dirty. All right, let's get the other side. Letting that knee swing out to the side. So if you were doing this from a chair, this is what you can do. Let the knee, the hip open out to the side. If you're on the feet with me, pick your version that you feel safe and comfortable in. And in terms of your eyes, try and let them fixate on just one thing in front of you, non-moving. If you'd like to add in those arm variations, go for it. Take a couple more breaths. And let's come on and release. Not that dirty. All right. So next one that we will do is standing forward fold, chair assisted. So again, for those of you that aren't standing, you can do this from a chair. Just let yourself bend at the waist. Hands can come onto the thighs, the floor. We've already done a couple in this class, so just kind of go back to that shape. If you're going to use the chair, you're behind it, and you hold on, and you're just going to walk the feet backward, and you should start to get a stretch, kind of your arms, your lats, your shoulders, your hamstrings. Don't feel like you got to lock your knees here. You can have very soft knees. All of that is fine, but we're not trying to lock the joints. And take about 3 breaths here before we move on. And you can engage your glutes, walk your way forward, And let's come back to the chair. All right, so we'll work a little bit longer and then we'll do a meditation to close. So from here, let's do a little bit with our fingers, our wrists. So you can go ahead and take your hand and just hold on to your wrist. And you're just going to gently circle the hand clockwise and then counterclockwise. We can go to the other hand, same ordeal, clockwise and counterclockwise. Getting both ways. That was your cue to switch. And relax it there. So, I come more forward. All right, adjustments have been made. So, next one we will do, your arms come forward, and hopefully you can see my thumbs coming in first, and then the other 4 fingers hold around the thumb. So from here, I'm just going to try and reach the thumbs toward the floor. You should feel a stretch around the thumb, maybe in the forearms. Let's take one more breath. And relax. Wiggle your fingers. Open and close the hands. Can set your hands on the lap. Let's turn them over. And we will get a little bit of coordination. So I want you to take your thumb and your pinky, touch them together. Release your thumb and your ring finger. Release your thumb and the middle finger. Release. Thumb and index. Release. And we go thumb and middle. Release. Thumb and ring finger. Release. Thumb and pinky. Release. Good. Give them a little shake. And relax. All right, come a little forward in your chair, and we're going to take an arm in front, bring it across, hold on with your opposite hand, and you can stay here if it's good enough. If you want a little extra, you can reach and rotate. You can take that 2 more times. Reach and rotate. So the rotation and the reach coming from your scapula, your shoulder blade. Good. Other arm. Give it a little hug. Stay there if this is good enough. Otherwise, if you want to rotate and reach with that shoulder blade, you can take 2 more. And coming through the last one. And relax. Alrighty. Let's take a couple rotations through your shoulders. Maybe one at a time. Trying to go the other way around. And relax. All right, let us get ready to close it out, and we'll do a little bit of meditation. So, like before, adjust yourself in the chair so that you're as comfortable as possible. You've already done a fair amount of work, so you can go for the version where you just rest the back on the chair. That's totally cool. So when you're ready, you can let the eyes close. Taking the first couple moments to, again, allow yourself to just scan through the thoughts, physical body, emotional body, anything that you may be experiencing, giving yourself a little time to recognize that. And starting to detach from that experience so that we can give ourselves to the breath, noticing the quality of the breath that you have right now. Manipulate a little bit, so bigger inhales, maybe holding the breath for a moment before you take a nice full exhale. Letting your mind really glue itself to your breath. Allowing the neck to gently lengthen upward. Noticing your feet, wherever they may be. And letting your awareness gradually move into your ankles. Moving that awareness upward through the entire length of your shin. Moving toward the knee. Letting that awareness travel into the quads, the thigh bones, the inner thighs. Eventually meeting at the pelvis, the sitting bones. Feeling that wave of awareness moving into the belly as it travels up the spine, the front of the body, the back of the body. Pausing at the neck here. We're going to let that awareness travel down the arms, through the shoulder, to the upper arm, the elbow, the forearms, your wrists, into the palms of your hands, and then each individual finger. And letting ourselves feel the head lengthening upward. You're allowing your jaw to relax, the tongue to be soft, the cheeks soft and heavy. Same goes for the eyelids, the forehead. Letting your awareness encapsulate your entire body from head to toe, front to back, side to side. Noticing the entire body as it sits in the chair. Noticing your breathing, movement of the belly. Allowing yourself to settle into the present moment with no pressure, stress, no sense of urgency to be doing anything else but this. And finally, just letting ourselves listen to the silence around us, any sort of ambient sounds. You can take a nice inhale here through the nose. You can let it go out the mouth. Let's take 2 more breaths like that, in the nose and out the mouth. Last time. You can have a little bit of movement in your hands, your feet, letting the body gradually wake up a little bit. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open the eyes. And with that, we can seal our practice for today. Pausing before you go on to the next thing, just to thank yourself for putting in the time to connect with yourself, especially given, the climate of the world right now. Giving yourself those moments to check in and ask those questions of, how am I actually doing? What do I need? What can I give myself? Those kind of questions are really, really more important than ever. So with that, I wish you all a fantastic day. And if you like it, hit the button, subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.